So briefly, last bit on the SEC, because I don't know where it's going. So I think the team that's playing best right now, or not best, but that would purely on how they're playing. I guess you could make an argument for Florida, but South Carolina. Okay. So South Carolina is playing Clemson at home on Saturday at noon. So they could get another quality win, which would be their 6th in a row. They are playing great. However, and they should have won 2 of these games. They should have beat LSU. They should have beat Alabama. Or even if they had won 1, they'd be good. But how do you put them in over Alabama and Ole Miss when they lost to Alabama by 2? They lost, and they got beat 27-3 at home by Ole Miss, and they have the LSU. So I'm partial to like who's playing best right now. Well, South Carolina might be the 4th best team in the SEC right now, but I don't know that they really have a path.
No, you can't disregard the head-to-head losses, especially they got blown out by Ole Miss, as you said.
Yeah. The Ole Miss loss hurts, right? Because they just got whipped at home. That one really hurts. The way I see the SEC's play, first of all, it could get worse for the SEC before it gets better. I think, right? Because hey, they could continue to eat their own. There is if Vanderbilt can beat Alabama at home, Vanderbilt can beat Tennessee at home, and that game is this coming weekend. Yeah. So that would knock out another SEC team, and that's the pathway to where Alabama kind of gets back in the conversation. But it's also a pathway where if Clemson beats South Carolina, then the ACC all of a sudden is talking about not just 2, but can they get like a 3rd team in? You know, it could get pretty wild there. And then the Texas A&M game.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If A&M wins that game and goes to the SEC championship game and loses the SEC championship game, they're a 4-loss SEC championship game runner-up. What does the committee do with them, number one? Number two, what does the committee do with Texas, which will not have a single quality win?
Yep.
And 2 losses.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Indiana,
Wild.
I think like Texas could drop down to where Indiana is at like on the bubble area.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, we have a potential actual bid thief, another element of the basketball conference championships that is fun, and that's A&M. If A&M beats Texas and wins the SEC championship, they go from no chance to in the bracket, and somebody gets knocked out.
So like if you're Indiana at the 2 spot.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess conference champion.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
No, that'd be 3, maybe behind Miami or SMU.
Miami probably, Miami or SMU would be 2. Probably.
Like if you're Indiana or somebody else who may be construed as a bubble team, you want A&M out of the mix.
Yeah. Also, just briefly, and then we'll get back to the ACC. But the ACC, they hate the SEC. They can do some damage this weekend to all those metrics.
Yeah.
Louisville is playing Kentucky. Florida State playing Florida, but they get them at home. Probably not. This Clemson South Carolina game is a beast. Oh, that game is at Clemson. It's not at home at South Carolina. I think I said South Carolina. And then finally, Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Playing good football. They're 7-4 against Georgia. But even if they win 3 of 4 or they get something going, like you can knock down they're all about these metrics and all that. Well, the metrics start getting uglier. There is 4 chances. So